In the recent years, the reparation movement has become bigger and doesn't seem like the discussion is going away anytime soon. And with the efforts of certain influencers using their platforms to further push the reparations discussion, politicians are now starting to realize that this is a very important conversation that needs to be had for the Black community.
The 5 pillars of reparations according to international law. 1, compensation. Repeat after me. Compensation. 2, restitution. 3, rehabilitation. 4, satisfaction. And 5, guarantee of non-repetition.
So they gonna give us money back? And everybody, you owe the whole world. You owe everybody black. If you saying it like that, reparations, and they can pay everybody, bro. They can pay everybody back. Just give all the black people money. That's how I feel. If that's reparations, that's the reparations I'm gonna want to see. Everybody who black, ancestors black, deserve a check.
The Foundation of Black American Reparations claim is a specific claim about slavery. See, this is not a claim about racism, okay? If we want to have a reparations thing about racism, that's a whole different claim. We're talking about something that happened to a specific group of people. We were enslaved in this country and we were never compensated for it. We need that group compensated. You can tell who's a Foundation of Black American. You go back to the 1870 census. If you can trace your lineage back to that census, you're a Foundation of Black American.
So when you look at the cost of slavery to African people, physically, spiritually, psychologically, financially, when you look at what slavery did to us and continues to do to us, you have to be very careful of trying to transfer that into a US dollar equivalent. You're talking about the single greatest dehumanization campaign in recorded history. You're talking about the greatest forced transmigration of a people ever. No, there's not even a biblical epic that could even compare to the enslavement of African people. And so when you talk about restitution for the greatest human crime of all time, you have to be careful about trying to quantify that. You know, trying to quantify a qualitative experience can be quite a challenge, and I think it's a trap. And I think that trap is being intensified by the fact that a lot of us are a bunch of greedy Negroes who just want some money so we can go buy some Gucci and some Louis. I mean, let's be honest. Since when did we become so loyal to our ancestors? You know, we're so loyal to African ancestors all of a sudden that we want to fight for their reparations.
But you see, the cold reality is we need to realize, as far as the Black community, no one, and I mean no one, is for us receiving reparations. Shoot, even some of our own people are up against us receiving these reparations that we well deserve. And I'm gonna give you another cold piece of reality. Us, far as us, the Black community, man, we just may help decrease our own odds receiving reparations.
Reparations, from my perspective, is a bunch of people that's waiting or begging for the winners to come back and give them something. Now, we can make the discussion or we can make the argument about who it is that's responsible and the laws and how things have changed and been revised based off of what the government is doing. And you can also tap into when you can start having conversations about who came before you, and did the Jewish people get reparations, and did Japanese get reparations, and did the Indians get reparations, and all of this different stuff, right? But the reality is that if you do get something for free, cool. And a lot of people are even triggered by those words. They say, well, it's not free, it's old. Prove it.
Y'all ain't getting nothing, not even HR 40, if they control the House and the Senate. You can rewrite it all day. You can have Darity, you can have Yvette, Antonio, they can do whatever they want. You will get nothing.
You don't need your reparations because I've never seen you picking cotton in the fields. I mean, damn, you're on a red carpet photo shoot in your picture right now.
And what does that mean? What does that have to do with my reparations money?
I mean, it doesn't look like you need money based off of that.
Ma'am, some of the.
What would this money do to benefit you? It would just make you lazier in society.
No, it would not, ma'am. No, it would be compensation and justice because it's owed to me. The money was denied my family, and my family suffered. And in order for me to walk that red carpet and shine, I had to work extremely hard, harder than I was supposed to.
No, your ancestors had to work. I bet you had a great upbringing.
I am my ancestors, ma'am, and my ancestors.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Just because your blood related to those people doesn't make you them. I mean, what would you call an adopted child?
Yes, it does. I am my ancestors, and my ancestors are me. We are one and the same.
I don't believe that anybody owes anything to anybody that is still alive today, right? You can't benefit off of what happened historically outside of what it is that you do today as far as leapfrogging off of the opportunities that they've given you thus far, right? I believe that we live in the best country in the world. I believe, based off of my recent international travels and traveling in different states and stuff, the worst hoods over here is 10 times better than some of the environments that a lot of these people are raised in across the board. I think that people see that overseas, and then what happens is when they get over into this country, they weren't entitled, they don't have this privileged mentality, and they work their ass off, and so as a result, they continue to beat you. I don't believe that reparations is going to be given to anybody. I think that the reparations has already been distributed in the form of these social programs and welfare and all of these different stupid programs that's being funded because y'all continue to vote the wrong people in office, as far as this Democratic Party that continues to keep you tied to it based off of their promises to give you something for free.
Now, you see, when the reparations movement first started catching steam a couple years ago, right? We was giving these political parties, and when I say political parties, I really mean the Democrats, who we always vote for no matter what. We was giving them an ultimatum that we still give them to this day. No reparations, no vote. But you see, what we fail to realize is that the Democrats, man, they heard us loud and clear, man. So they start playing chess with us. They said, okay, if we can't depend on that black vote like we always have, then we gonna replace that black vote with the immigrant vote. But first, we need that black community to help voice and fight the good fight to get the immigrants into the U.S. Then we can get the immigrants to vote for us.
The secret about voting is a tool. It's not an addiction. It's not a disease. It is a tool when you live in a capitalist society that uses electoral processes to pick your leaders. Now, if you're going to sit back and let somebody else use that tool, you're going to lose the game.
Y'all remember when Trump first ran for president, his first election, how the black community, we was in our feelings, in which with us being in our feelings, we was frontline center fighting the good fight to get the Democrats back in office, fighting for everybody's fight, immigration. That's just to name one example, while we was left alone fighting our own good fight. Man. And by the time it was time to vote, we got up off that couch and made sure Biden was put back in office. But hold on, though, because the plot thickens. After we helped put the Democrats back in office, we told them that sweet old ultimatum after we realized the finesse, that we was gonna take back our black vote. And that's when they said, okay, you wanna take back that vote? You already got us in office, so this is what we gonna do. We gonna go ahead and get these immigrants into this country. And once they did that, this is what happened.
It is a slap in the face that we as citizens of the United States of America do not have the resources and support, but you're going to bring people who are not citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for, that you took away from us. Yeah. That is completely unacceptable. We are in a humanitarian crisis right now.
Last fall, the city had a similar site on Randall's Island. At that point, the city says they had about 15,000 migrants in their care, but today they have roughly 60,000.
We're keeping the things that worked well there. For example, we want to make sure that people can make it into any part of New York City to find jobs.
The message remains the same as it was last year. The city needs a decompression strategy. They say there's now 100,000 migrants who have crossed into New York City since last year.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
So now here comes some more cold reality. The Democrats don't need that black vote as bad as they used to, because that black vote has been replaced, and that's a fact. So what might be the solution to gain some kind of control as far as having some value back in the black vote, some may ask? Well, the solution I come up with is whatever political party sees less value in the black vote, man, we have to vote the opposite, man. Straight up. None of that voting the couch, man. We got to vote the opposite. We need to focus on building value back up in the black vote. If immigrants are replacing our black vote, first we need to address that. Right now, that's a big issue far as the black community. Second, we need to build up someone from the community for the community. Get some of us up in these decision-making rooms that can make important decisions on our behalf, man, straight up. Then maybe we can focus on reparations. But we got to stop leading as people with emotions, man, and start leading with strategy. Man, they out here playing chess, and we out here playing checkers, man. And with all due respect, these reparation rallies need to come with a game plan, man. Yeah, we keep voicing we want reparations, but how are we truly gonna get them, man? What is the game plan to get these reparations, man? And I'm gonna let y'all in on something that the black community don't even realize. And this might go over a lot of people's head, man. But pay attention, and if it do, rewind it back if you need to, man. Check this out. I'm gonna break this all the way down. In 2023, right, the government spent $178.6 billion with businesses, business owners for their goods and services, contracts to do business with the government, etc., right? $178.6 billion. Now, out of that $178.6 billion that the government spent, $76.2 billion went to minority business owners. Now, minority business owners are white women, Asians, Chinese, Hispanics, Mexicans, Ethiopians, Africans, foundational black Americans. All those business owners fall under the minorities. Pretty much, if you ain't classified as a white male, you a minority. So $76.2 billion of that went to minority business owners, right? Now, foundational black Americans make up almost 20% of the minority-owned businesses, but only receive $1.4 billion out of that $76.2 billion that the government spent, which pretty much equals up to about 1.9% of the money that the government handed out to minority business owners. Make up 20% of the minority businesses, but only get 1.9% of the federal money, the money that will help expand businesses, goods and services, contracts. In other words, if I'm a cleaning company, not only will the government buy cleaning products from my business, they can issue me a 5 to 10 year cleaning contract, consistently cleaning, that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is where real wealth is generated, man. And this is something that we as people don't even address, don't speak on. This ain't nothing we fighting for, man. Straight up, man. This is so much that we gotta address, man, and not voting is only gonna put us further back. It's gonna put us further back from reaching real wealth, in my opinion, man. So we gotta get somebody in office that's gonna step up for us, man. Like I said, I know them numbers probably went over a lot of people's head, But understand what I'm saying, man. In 2023, the government spent $178.6 billion with businesses. 76.2 billion of that went to minority businesses. White females, Asians, Chinese, Hispanics, Mexicans, Ethiopians, Africans, foundational Black Americans. And foundational Black Americans make up 20% of the minority businesses, but only receive 1.9% of that money that would have helped expand their businesses and get to real wealth, man. Man, we got to catch up, man. They playing chess, we playing checkers, man. This Bezo, man. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe, man. Y'all think we gonna get reparations? How we gonna get it, man? Let's talk about it. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.
Well, other people suffered. It just wasn't Black people. Irish people were enslaved. Italian people were lynched. Native Americans were mistreated, and they're not complaining, so why are you Blacks complaining? Well, the thing is, these people are not complaining because they were compensated. The Irish, who were indentured servants, they got something called freedom dues after their contract ran out. They got money, land, and weapons. They were compensated. Then they were brought into white society to join all the benefits and reap all the gains of being white. When the Italians were lynched down in New Orleans, there was a situation where there was a mass lynching of Italians. Their families were compensated, and the country of Italy was compensated, and the Italians were allowed into white society to reap the benefits. The Native Americans, we know the red ones, they were compensated. They broke off all types of money, and many of them enslaved us as well, so they need to be cutting a check too.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't Black,